Gary Franchi here, Chief White House Correspondent for the Next News Network. It's a bright but chilly Monday, March 3rd, and I'm standing right outside the White House, where the week has kicked off with major developments, economic victories, border security milestones, and of course, the lingering fallout from last week's chaotic Oval Office showdown with President Zelenskyy. First, let's start off with what the administration is calling the Trump effect. This morning, the White House put out a press release detailing a string of massive wins for American manufacturing, border security, and small businesses. The numbers speak for themselves. That's right. Honda just announced it will be producing its next generation Civic Hybrid right here in the United States, not in Mexico. Wisconsin-based Clarios is putting up $6 billion to expand its American operation. And let's not forget Apple's $500 billion investment in Eli Lilly's $27 billion push to bring pharmaceutical production back to the United States. And what's driving these decisions? Well, President Trump's aggressive Made in America policies and his commitment to bringing industry back to American soil. But the economy isn't the only place where we're seeing a turnaround. That's right, the border crisis, an absolute disaster under Joe Biden, has been reversed. February saw the lowest number of illegal crossings ever recorded, a 94% drop from the same time last year. The numbers are so staggering, even the Mexican cartels are reportedly genuinely fearful for the first time in years. Now, before we go any further, I want to show you what President Trump had to say just moments ago under a massive investment that's about to happen in America.
Today, Taiwan Semiconductor is announcing that they will be investing at least $100 billion in new capital in the United States over the next short period of time to build state-of-the-art semiconductor manufacturing facilities. I think mostly it's going to be in Arizona, which is what I understand, which is a great state. I like it because I won it, but I won most of them, actually. But we won it, and we won it big. The most powerful AI chips in the world will be made right here in America. And it'll be a big percentage of the chips made by his company. But as you know, they're based mostly in Taiwan. And they're far and away the biggest. There's nobody even close. This $100 billion in new investment will go into building 5 cutting-edge fabrication facilities in the great state that we just discussed, Arizona, and will create thousands of jobs, many thousands of jobs, and the high-paying jobs. In total, today's announcement brings Taiwan Semiconductor investments to about $165 billion. They've started already.
So President Trump announces $100 billion investment from TSMC in U.S. chip manufacturing. That's right, $100 billion flowing into the American economy. Money that could have gone to China, but thanks to Trump's policies, it's instead going to rebuild American industry. Now let's pivot to what is still dominating discussions here in Washington: Ukraine. Zelenskyy, fresh off his disastrous trip to Washington, is now saying he thinks the war will drag on for a long time. And Trump responded today with a sharp warning.
President Zelenskyy supposedly made a statement today in AP. I'm not a big fan of AP, so maybe it was an incorrect statement, but he said he thinks the war's going to go on for a long time. And he better not be right about that. That's all I'm saying.
Now, that's Trump making it crystal clear he is not playing games. He's serious about peace. And if Zelenskyy doesn't get on board, well, let's just say he better not be right about how long this war continues. And then there's this. Reporters press Trump on exactly what he wants to see from Zelenskyy to restart peace negotiations. His response? One word: appreciation.
What do you need to see from President Zelenskyy to restart these negotiations?
Well, I just think he should be more appreciative, because this country has stuck with them through thick and thin. We've given them much more than Europe, and Europe should have given more than us, because, as you know, that's right there. That's the border. This country really was like the fence on the border. It was very important to Europe, and I'm not knocking Europe. I'm saying that they were a lot smarter than Joe Biden, because Joe Biden didn't have a clue. He just gave money hand over fist, and they should have been able to equalize with us. In other words, if we gave $1, they should have given. Well, we gave $350 billion. They probably gave $100, but on top of it all, they get their money back because they're doing it in the form of a loan, and it's a secured loan. So when I saw that, which I've known about for a little while. I said it's time for us to be smart. At the same time, it's great for them because they get us in the country taking the rare earth, which is going to fuel this big engine, and especially the engine that we've in a very short time created. And we get something, and we're there. We have a presence there. With all of that being said, I want one thing to happen. I want all of those young people to stop being killed. They're being killed by the thousands every single week. Last week, 2,700 were killed. 2,700 young, in this case, just about all young boys from Ukraine and from Russia. And that's not young people from the United States, but it's on a human basis. I want to see it stop. The money is one thing, but the death. And they're losing thousands of soldiers a week. And that's not including the people that get killed every time a town goes down or a missile goes into a town. And I want to see it stop.
Now, Trump is calling it like it is. America has poured far more resources into Ukraine than Europe ever has. Yet Zelenskyy came into the White House acting hostile instead of grateful. And that leads us to another key moment today. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz spoke to reporters earlier right behind me, and he had this to say about Europe stepping up for its own defense.
Well, we're going to have
Are you going to be in that meeting?
Is pausing aid on the table? But we have our national security team.
About having Starmer and Macron work together.
Well, we welcome the Europeans taking a lead in European security. I mean, that's been an underpinning. They have to invest in the capability to do that. They're certainly shown a will, and both Starmer and Macron showed that will last week before Friday. We also had the NATO Secretary General on the phone with the president before President Zelenskyy came in. So we welcome Europe stepping up for Europe. But they have to also invest in the capabilities to do so. And all of that was evident and repeatedly communicated with the Ukrainians before Friday. And he could have then left with an economic guarantee that would have benefited Ukraine and I think the world for a generation. So it's really confounding to us why we had kind of such hostility coming in.
Who's the big obstacle right now?
Translation: the days of America's footing the bill for Europe's wars are coming to an end. And the administration made it clear to Zelenskyy before Friday's meeting that he had a golden opportunity to leave with an economic guarantee that would have benefited Ukraine for generations. Instead, he torched it with his bizarre outbursts, and now even the Europeans are having second thoughts. So here we are. America is winning on manufacturing, winning on border security, and reasserting real leadership on the world stage. Meanwhile, Zelenskyy is back in Europe, scrambling to explain how he blew up his negotiations. And while the mainstream media tries to spin this as a crisis, let's be real. This is exactly what Trump promised. America First is back. For the Next News Network, I'm Gary Franchi, and stay tuned for more updates as we continue our coverage straight from the White House.